There is still no better way to move product than a sales funnel. A custom sales funnel created by an expert copywriter and designer and developer can move product like nothing else on the planet. The problem is doing that is extremely expensive. Heck, even just buying the top sales funnel building tool is going to cost you $200 a month, and that's just for the middle tier. Enter FlexiFunnels, the lifetime deal over at AppSumo that essentially clones a lot of your favorite parts about those clicky, funnely tools that we were just looking at. All right, I've loved sales funnels since the day I was born. Well, maybe not quite that early, but I've been doing sales funnels a really long time. So when this product came up on AppSumo, it definitely caught my eye. It is going away fairly soon. So let's take a look at it in this video, find out if it's actually worth the price, because you can go all the way up to tier 7 here, spending $1,500. Is that worth it? We're gonna find out together. Right after I tell you about the sponsor of today's video, OmniSend. If you're running an e-commerce store, you know that email marketing is critical, but most email platforms weren't built for online stores. They make you work around e-commerce instead of working with it. OmniSend is different. It's built specifically for e-commerce, which means it integrates directly with your Shopify, WooCommerce, or BigCommerce stores. When you're building an email, there's even a product picker tool right in the editor. So you can select products from your store and they get added to the email with images, prices, and buy buttons. No exporting CSVs or manually creating clunky blocks inside of weird editors that don't fully function. The abandoned cart automation is where OmniSend really shines. If someone adds an item to their cart but doesn't check out, OmniSend is going to automatically send them a follow-up email with those exact products in their cart. A single click and they are checking out again. Set it up once and this will run on autopilot for you, no maintenance required. OmniSend even has a free plan that includes all of their features, even automation. You even get 24/7 support on the free plan, which is just insane. And when you're ready to scale up, the paid plans are very reasonable, starting at just $16 a month. So if you want to get serious about e-commerce, you want OmniSend. Check out the link in the description to get started today. My thanks to OmniSend for sponsoring today's video. All right, so this is FlexiFunnels, and despite what it looks like at first glance, it's actually really good. Like, not really, really good, but really good. It does a lot of stuff and it does it well. There are certainly complaints I have, and I'll definitely voice those as we go through it. But I think the first thing is that it's kind of confusing and awkward to use, but the results you get kind of make it worth it. So the first thing I would say is just the organization and layout is very scattered. Once you get it, it makes sense, but you got to really work to get it. So let me try to make that as easy as possible to get started. So we're going to end up in the project section first. This is like a campaign. That's how I'd like you to think about it, is like a campaign. What you do in a project is you collect all of the pages that you want together in one little bundle. We don't worry about what products are connected to them or like what happens when people do certain things. We just want all of the pages living right here. So I hit new project over here, and I've got some templates or some like presets I can choose from, and they tell you what pages they'll create for you. I recommend just starting with a custom funnel. It's just gonna start you blank, and that's probably the way to go for 99 times out of 100. I do need to put a name in here. No special characters are allowed, so you can't do dashes or apostrophes. I'll just call it my test project and hit create. All right, I am inside of my project and I've got all of my pages over here. If I make a new page, I've got a sales page, so I want to have an upsell page. That would be like the next logical thing. So I'll call this upsell. I'll leave the path blank for now. And then I'm going to choose the page type. For an upsell, I'll just do a default page because there's no dedicated upsell type of page. So that's my reasoning for choosing default. Now that is added over here to the left-hand sidebar, and I can move these around, but I don't think it really matters a whole lot what order they're in right now because we'll set that all up later. So in terms of the logic of the funnel, that will be done in a later step. All right, let's go ahead and just build out the rest of this. I've got a sales page, an upsell page. I need a thank you page. We'll add in a third one here. I'll just call it TY for thank you, and product page will be a thank you page. Oh, you know what I forgot is a checkout. We've got the sales page. I was thinking it would be like an inline. We need another page. Let's add it in. I'll call it checkout, and page type will be a checkout page. Now, I will say it's very slow. There's lots of like loading every time I do an action, not dragging obviously, but adding a new page. It's like, it is what it is, right? It feels like an app from, a few years ago. We're just so used to things instant these days that it's easy to complain. But I've got my 4 steps laid out here. And now what I can do is choose a template or start blank. And then I get to use their page editor, which is like surprisingly good and full featured. What I'm gonna do is just grab a template. So I'm under sales page. It would be nice if they knew like, okay, I chose checkout here. So show me the checkout templates. It doesn't do that. They're all organized. Like there's tags up here, no real searching for the pages, but like they're there. I can get there eventually. Here's checkout. I can choose checkout and see their layouts. Very important to have good checkouts, right? When you're doing a sales funnel, it's got to look trustworthy and attractive and make me want to use it. So here is, let's look at a pop-up form. Let's preview this. So this is like a coaching checkout page. It looks pretty good. We've got some testimonials down at the bottom. And it's also got like a little no thanks button here, like it's a one-time offer type of thing. I'm not going to choose this one, but let's look at a couple other ones. How about the book order form page? Let's preview this. Okay, nice classic looking page. You can see that this is very clearly inspired by ClickFunnels. If you know ClickFunnels, you'll notice that even like the fonts, the buttons, which we don't have any here, are very ClickFunnel-y. Let me show you a sales page. So we've got our checkout template. We're good there. Let's go ahead and choose our sales template. So again, I've got to scroll back over here to sales pages, and I could start from scratch, but I'm not going to do that. Let's choose, I don't know, how about this Facebook Ads Optimizer? We're gonna go ahead and open this inside of their editor. So I've selected this one already. To edit it, there's a little blue button over here. Click that, it pops me open into the editor. This is our first time really seeing the editor here, and it's pretty good. So here are the buttons. I was saying these are very ClickFunnels-y. We've got some testimonials down below, but anywhere I want to add more content, I can just hover until I see the add selection or section button pop up, and then I've got a bunch of templates I can bring in here. So let's say I'm looking for, I don't know, how about, let's say some bonuses. Let's add in bonuses right at the top. And I've got these nice little templates. I can drop it in, bonus 1, bonus 2, looks really nice. Editing is super easy too. Just go ahead and click wherever you want, hit the gear icon. We've got a little panel over here so we can change our button settings in terms of, what the text is, where it's linking to, all of that good stuff. You can edit the subtext right here. This does look like an open source builder that I've used before. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it's highly customized for the FlexiFunnels platform. Everything is integrated really nicely. We do have full mobile responsive editing. We've got the desktop view here and the mobile view here. And if you don't want to use their templates, you can, of course, just build stuff out from scratch. We've got just a few elements here, but look how fast I can build this out. I added a new section. I made it 2 column. I can add in a headline here, maybe drop in a video and some text over to the side. You can just really build out stuff very quickly. Of course, when you're done, you want to publish your page, go ahead and hit publish. It's going to be available. We can add our own custom domains and even add in validation for email sending. I'll show you all of the integrations and all of that stuff a little bit later on, but I'm sure it's on your mind. How is this going to work? It is totally doable. A few other cool settings to see here inside of the builder. We've got the gear icon, which lets us choose our favicon, as well as SEO settings are down here as well. You can add in your retargeting codes. Worthy of noting, we also get the Facebook conversion pixel integration with the entire platform. That does require a specific AppSumo plan. Let me show you here. So for Facebook conversion funnels or Facebook conversion API, you need to be on at least tier, oh, this thing is in the way. Here's a cool little trick for you. Did you know this exists in Safari? Hide distracting items. I'm going to remove the FOMO timer. Sorry, AppSumo. But now I can see tier 1 does not include the Facebook conversion API. I need tier 2 and above to get that. That's a very important thing to a lot of people out there. So I want to kind of stop and say, if you need Facebook advertising, get tier 2. It's worth it for that alone. You can add pop-ups to your pages as well. So there's a full pop-up builder here. Go ahead and hit add pop-up and you can just call it my pop and start building away. There's different ways to make the pop-up show up, whether it's a click of a button, exit intent, time on page, percentage scrolled, lots of options there for adding in your pop-up. Yeah, overall, just a very full-featured application. Okay, so let's get oriented again because we dove into the editor and it's kind of easy to get lost here. So we started on the dashboard, and then I recommended you go into the project. Think of this as like your folder for all of your pages. I think we're in the test project here. This is like the folder for all of your pages. You want to add all of the pages that are in your funnel right here. And now I've got 4 different pages. I'm just going to make sure each one has a template here real quick. All right, I'm just going to grab any old upsell. This one looks just fine. And then finally, we'll do a thank you page. Now you can make your funnel as complex as you want with multiple upsells, bump offers, tripwires. There's everything here. Now I'm just going to try to keep it simple so you can get your head wrapped around this platform. So we need a thank you page, and then we're going to head into actually adding in our products. Because notice up until now, we've not talked about what we're selling. We've basically just been looking at a page editor. So I've got a thank you page. I'm going to grab, how about this one right here? It's an ebook thank you. I'll select it. Okay, now all of my pages have something. They're real live pages. So let's head over to the product section. This is where we want to add in the products that we're going to sell. It's not going to be kind of cordoned off to any particular funnel. So that's actually kind of a good thing, because then you can set up your products however you want them and be able to reuse them inside of multiple campaigns or projects. You can see here, I've got just a couple of products I was adding to learn the platform. You can clone products too. So if you've got slight variations, click the triple dots and then you can clone them right here, or you can add them to a funnel as well. But more on that later. Let's go back to the products. So I'm going to create a new product from scratch. Now, downside of this platform, no physical goods. It's just digital products. So we've got digital products or membership products. I'll start with a digital product here. We'll give it a name. I'll call it Widget Dave. And then I can go ahead and upload an image here. I've already added some images to my gallery, but uploading is very easy. You just choose upload image and there is a little drop well here, and that works perfectly fine. Limit of 5 megabytes for your images. Hopefully they're not 5 gigs. Something is going on. If they are, I need to close this and open it up again and then go to my gallery. And I'm just going to insert this image right here. Then we'll move kind of down the line here and just fill out all of the specs. We're going to add in a price if it's a paid product. If it's a free product, you'll just make it free. I'm going to make mine free, but I'm going to show you the settings here for paid. So I can do a one-time fee or set your own price type of method. And then I'll add my price in, and then I can choose whether or not people can buy multiple items here. Very common for sales funnel type products to have a limit on being able to buy multiple products. So I'll go ahead and just choose limit to 1 here. And then we can continue to the next step here, which is our payment options. Now I've not connected to any payment providers, but I am going to show you the payment providers. It's got, of course, Stripe and PayPal, but there's a few others that might help people around the world who are not happy with PayPal and Stripe, or they're just not available in their country. We've got RazorPay, InstaMojo, and cash-free payments. Are those good ones? I don't know. I'm in the United States. Honestly, we just use PayPal and Stripe here, and it seems to be fine. But let me know, does it hit every part of the world, or is there a payment provider missing that you'd really like to see here? This is the settings page, by the way. So we get here from the gear icon, and then that's basically where we're at. But they jumped us over while I was adding in the product because I chose a payment provider I had not added yet. We'll come back here and look at some of these options later on. This is where you connect up your webinar provider, which must be GoToWebinar. That's the only one they support, as well as email provider. They have a whole slew of them, and your conversion API is in here as well. We'll take a look back at that later on, like I said. For now, let's go back to our product here. I've set my price, but I'm going to go ahead and change my mind and make this free. Now I don't need to choose a payment provider. Next, I can choose the sales/checkout page. So this is where I take my product and I assign it to a project and a sales page. So I guess that kind of undoes what I said earlier about reusing them, but you just duplicate it, I think is the point with it. So let's see, I'm going to assign this to my test project here, and the sales page is going to be sales. So if this rings a bell, this is what I was talking about earlier inside of the projects. I created those 4 pages, and now I'm basically saying that page sells this product. Would it have been better if I could add the product in on that page? Almost certainly yes. That would have been a more, congruent experience for humans. But once you figure this out, it's like, okay, I guess I'll do it that way. It's my only choice. And I want to have nice sales funnels without paying thousands of dollars a year. So I'll just deal with this. And then we set the checkout page, basically the same type of thing where you choose your project and the checkout page. And proceeding to the next steps start to get kind of confusing because we also have this funnels tab up here we'll look at in a minute. But essentially, after purchase, we need to enter in like a support email for this particular product, choose the digital asset that we're going to assign to it. We don't have any assets added in yet, so we'll need to do that. Digital assets are able to be added over in settings. So just hit create asset here and you can go ahead and upload your asset. There is a very small limit here of just 5 megabytes, the same as the images, which can be problematic if you're trying to deliver even like a plugin or something like that. It would definitely make it harder to deal with. So probably what you're going to have to end up doing is just linking off to another site to download it, like an AWS object storage type of situation. But yeah, that's how you can, if you have smaller things, PDFs that you want to deliver that would fit in that 5 megabyte limit, that's where you'd go. Then just fill in the rest of the information here in terms of your verified domains. I've not added a custom domain yet, but I'll show you where that is momentarily. We've got our sender name, and then what we do after purchase, we want to go inside of the My Test Projects thank you page and hit next. Now we are on to our rules. We can set actions that will be performed based on the product status. So let's add in a new rule here. If the product was purchased for a particular pricing option, then we can send a webhook or use an autoresponder. We have to integrate that to add them to a particular list. So very full-featured automation here, really quite nice. If you just want to add someone to, let's say they do an email opt-in, you want to add them to a list. Boom, very simple, easy layout. Makes total sense. If you do webhook, you're just going to enter in the webhook name and the URL where you want to receive it. So that would be sending off all of the information of the transaction to whatever's catching your webhook, Zapier, N8N, something like that. And then you can do automations with it after that. Next up, we've got cart abandonment. Cart abandonment's built right in here. We can turn this on and basically set up a little cart abandonment sequence so that people get messaged to come back and finish checking out. You can see the default sequence here has quite a few emails. I think five emails over the course of 3 days, which is kind of aggressive, but I would be happy if there was some other templates here to choose from. But yeah, you can go ahead and modify this however you like. Just hit the plus button and then you can customize the emails, which by the way, are done over in the settings page. Email settings over here. These are your cart abandonment emails. So you can add new ones in, write the email, and then tie them to the product later. Everything is very disjointed. They're far apart. But again, you do the work because it's affordable. That's kind of the message of today's review. Like these things are all good on their own. They just need a better user interface that is more consistently tied through the actual user experience, the thinking process of a human being. Your conversion API settings on a per product basis are available right here. And then we do have statistics for how many people are buying and looking and, clicking and returning and all that stuff will show up over here under statistics. So those are your products. Under products, we've also got coupons here. So you can create coupons for products. There's an overview screen, which is just kind of like a dashboard to show you your statistics across all of your products. And then you can see your customers over here on the last screen. They're gonna be their name, the products they bought, order details, if they have an affiliate, their status, whether it's been delivered, returned, so on and so forth, the price and the action. All right, we put all of our pages together inside of our project. Mine had 4 steps. Then we added in our products and connected them in the products tab over here. So what the heck is the funnel tab all about? This is actually like your logic page, right? So what we would do here, let me just delete this. We'll start from scratch. You can delete stuff. It works throughout the app. I haven't found anything that's just like broken, which is great. I take that back. The one thing I found broken was actually the first thing I clicked on in the quick setup. Watch replay here, click this, took me to a 404 page. I was like, ooh, this is going to be one of those reviews. I haven't done one of those in a while. But ever since then, pleasantly surprised. Everything works quite well once you figure it all out. So I'm in the funnel section here. I'm going to create a new funnel, which you might be thinking like, haven't I been building funnels all along? Well, no, this is where you set the logic for what actually happens here. So I'll just call this my test funnel and hit create. Now I've got my funnel over here, and what I do is actually add my products to the funnel right there. So I'll do my, let's see, I think Dave's Widget Dave was the product we added. And now I've added it to my funnel. And basically on the action of purchase, someone purchases the product, show the thank you page. All right, cool. That's great. Now I could beat this up. I could change this from the thank you page to another product. I've got unnamed product here. I'll hit the plus button next to that, and it's going to fire off another sequences of events here. Now, after someone buys my widget Dave, it's going to actually take them to another product page, which will then show them the thank you page. And that thank you page could have an upsell on it. And if they say no to that, they can go to a different thank you page. So this is where you actually build out the entire flow of your funnel. I don't love this. I think it would make more sense to do this inside of the project, to maybe have, some kind of way to connect things together, either graphically or just through like a sequence builder in an email editor. But this is how it works. And again, we're going to do the work because this is a pretty good result for viewers, like your customers coming to your website. It's just going to be a little more work on the back end. It's all to save that scratch. So that's really it. That's like the three main components of FlexiFunnels. Now, there is more to this tool. We've got apps over here, which I'm not going to go into great detail in this video, but we've got Flexi Proof if you want to add social proof to your website. We've got Flexi AI marketing agents, a full suite of AI marketing agents to generate ad copy, video scripts. We've got Flexi Split Testing, an AI site builder, Flexi Viral for giveaways, and a course to teach you how to dominate on social media. So, you can click over into any of these. Like if I want to do the site builder, I'll just click login. It's going to take me right over there. I don't need a separate username and password. And in this case, this tool lets me build a website with a single prompt. So I'll do single prompt website design. And let's see, I want to build a course launch page. And I'll just say, I want to sell a course on Ghost. Build me a high converting sales page for people who dislike their current website builder. Now, Ghost isn't really a website builder, so maybe I'll say content management system. There we go. All right, let's go ahead and create a web page here with a single click. It's generating your page. This is not it. This is their animation to do so. Now, I'm not going to go through all of these apps because this video is already quite long, but you get the point. There's a lot of value here. Even if these things just half work, the whole funnel system, that's really what you need. If you're paying $1,500 buying tier 7, you should do it for the ability to not have to pay ClickFunnels anymore. You shouldn't do it for, the one-click generation of websites here. All right, it is working. It's given me some HTML here, so we can see actually what it's writing. It's still going. It's thinking over here. It wrote this little bit of HTML and started some CSS, and then it's kind of just stopped. It's been a minute now. Nothing else has been added, so I'm starting to get suspicious. Oh, there we go. We're getting some more. All right, now with Ghost 5 coverage. Well, Ghost 6 has been out for a good 3 or 4 months at this point, but it's all right. I didn't specify. I do find it interesting that they're showing me the actual code here rather than building out the page in a visual manner. All right, there we go. It finally just loaded, and honestly, it looks a lot better than I was expecting. It's new for 2024, which kind of shows you which LLM built this, but overall, heck yeah, man, this looks really good. I would use this. I mean, not this specific page, but I would use this app to build quick pages. That's amazing. We've got even a different, you get your curriculum here, some bonuses, testimonials. Looks really good. And we can edit it as well. I imagine it's going to, we can just add this right to one of our projects. This is cool. All right, I'm gonna call it a course sales page. We'll leave it as a general page. It's publishing, and that's just gonna add it right to let's customize it. I just wanna see it in the editor to be certain it's gonna be like a similar editing experience. So the editor is exactly the same editor for these pages, which is really cool, but unfortunately it's not the exact same experience when using the editor with these AI generated pages. So some of it's very similar. Like if I want to change the text in this headline here, I can just double click and start typing away. There we go. But if I want to change some things like this text up here, it's still text, I can select it, but clicking in here, it doesn't give me the option to change anything. And if I go to the gear icon, I'm not seeing any text settings over here. So some of this stuff is going to be perfectly editable, but maybe the more customized things, like maybe these icons, I'm not sure how you change the actual icons themselves. I could change the background color, that's fine, but I can't change the actual text. There's no text, in fact, or no images. So yeah, it's really good, but not quite perfect. I can still add stuff, by the way, so I could drop like a headline in, that's no problem. But if I try to add a section, I can pull open their templates, but they don't let me add them. In fact, the previews don't even show up. So no blocks, loading, no blocks. So I can't bring in everything to these AI generated pages, which is kind of a bummer because they had some nice templates. But yeah, we're really close there with the AI page creation. So that is FlexiFunnels. There is a lot going on here. I definitely think it could be a good replacement for someone who's spending thousands of dollars on ClickFunnels, and you just make the leap over here and have everything rebuilt in no time. There is still some other things to consider, however, which is primarily for me, the transaction fees and the monthly visits, because they're going to limit you on how many people can visit your site, as well as take a piece of any revenue, which seems like a lot to do both of those things. It's like, yeah, you can't sell too much, and when you do, we're going to take some of it. I don't love that. So if they could rearrange this deal to lower or eliminate either one of these views or transaction fees, I think that would be in everyone's best interest. But let's look through them a little bit here. So tiers 1 and 2, you're going to be giving 2% of your business to FlexiFunnels. If you go up to tiers 3 and 4, it drops down to 1.5%. And then tiers 5, 6, and 7, it is 1%. I'd love for tier 7 to go down to 0.5% or even 0%. I think that would be, you're already giving them $1,500. It seems like that would be a reasonable thing to do. Monthly visits are a little bit low, I gotta say. If you're running paid traffic, you can easily wear that out pretty quickly. We do get custom domains, a certain number of custom domains per tier. If you go all the way up to tier 7, you'll get 50 custom domains, which is quite a bit. And then we just saw our AI page builder credits. It's 1 credit per page build, essentially. So I just built one on tier 7. I'd have 199 page builds left. There are a bunch of other features here I didn't even get into in the video, such as creating courses and adding course members. Those are some limits you should take a look at, as well as sub-users. If you want to have a team working on this product, you'll need to choose your plan accordingly. I did tell you I'd show you the settings page with the custom domains and everything here. So let's do that before we wrap up the video. I talked about the webinar integrations. This is only going to be GoToWebinar right now, which is unfortunate. In terms of autoresponder integrations, here are your different autoresponders. I'd like to shout out the sponsor of today's video, OmniSend, not on this list. Perhaps they should add them. We've got payment integrations. We did look at this already, but another recap here, PayPal and Stripe being the major ones in the United States. Other integrations, Vimeo, Gumlet, and Slack work. So Slack is going to be basically getting notifications of payments over on your Slack channels. Talked about the conversion API available for tiers 2 and above. Our domains here, if we wanted to add a domain, just hit add domain, give your domain name here. Let's say I'll do like funnels.daveswift.com. And then it's going to give me some credentials, or basically some DNS records that I need to add at my DNS provider. Just copy and paste those in, and then you'll be able to use that domain for your actual funnel. Email settings, we already talked about. This is where we actually create our emails for things like the automatic follow-up for cart abandonment. And then we've got email verification here. This is where you can add your custom domain in for email sending. So this is separate from adding a domain in for visiting the website. You also verify your domain for sending an email. Quite easy to do. Just add your email in. It's going to give you some DNS records. You'll just paste those in. They're using Amazon SES to send, so deliverability should be excellent. And real briefly, I mentioned sub-users a moment ago, so let's pull this up. You can add in sub-users here. You just enter in their email address, give them their name, and then you can set up their permissions, which projects they can access and edit, which products they can access, coupons, basically setting it very, very granularly in terms of what a sub-user could do. So this would be great for clients or employees that you don't want to trust with everything in your entire business. It'll all be easy to manage here inside of the sub-user details. So that is FlexiFunnels. Overall, a very interesting product. It's got those ClickFunnels-esque designs with the Walmart bargain bin pricing. You can't beat that if you're looking for a cheap way to make great looking funnels and you don't mind clicking around a little bit more than you might have to do on other platforms. FlexiFunnels is going to be a good fit for you. I'm going to give this one a 7.1 out of 10. Great product, definitely some room for improvement. My thanks to OmniSend for sponsoring today's video. They make today's content possible, as do you, so definitely check them out down below in the description. It would mean a lot to me. My name is Dave. If you've enjoyed this content, consider getting subscribed, hit the like bell, leave me a comment, and I will see you in the next one.